Daniel Lieberman begins by challenging the popular notion that sitting is universally bad, famously dubbed the new smoking. He explains that sitting itself is a normal behavior shared across many species, from cows to birds, and is by no means a uniquely modern or inherently harmful activity. Intriguingly, studies of the Hadza, one of the most studied hunter-gatherer populations, show that they sit about the same amount of time as Westerners, approximately 10 hours a day. This debunks the myth that sitting is a scourge exclusive to modern lifestyles. However, Lieberman points out the critical differences between how ancient and modern humans sit. Unlike today's extended, uninterrupted bouts of sitting in ergonomically designed chairs, traditional populations rarely sit for long stretches without interruption. Their sitting is frequently broken up by purposeful movement, such as tending fires or childcare, and often involves more physically engaging postures, like squatting or sitting on the ground. These alternative postures require muscular engagement, activating different muscle groups and energy expenditure, which serves important biological functions missing in prolonged sedentary sitting. Lieberman provides a fascinating historical perspective on how chairs changed human sitting behavior. The modern chair with a backrest, designed to reduce muscular effort by providing support, became common only after the Industrial Revolution, with the first mass-produced chair arriving in 1859. Before that, humans mostly sat on the ground or on simple stools that demanded active stabilization by back, leg, and core muscles. This shift is profound because today's chairs allow people to relax all postural muscles while seated, turning off the muscular engagement that was once a normal part of sitting. This reduction in muscular activity leads to decreased gene expression related to metabolism, fat burning, and glucose usage, contributing to many of the metabolic problems associated with contemporary sedentary lifestyles. Lieberman discusses his concern for the global transitions in physical activity patterns, especially as communities move from subsistence farming or hunter-gatherer lifestyles into urban environments. For example, in Rwanda, the move from rural farming to city life in Kigali causes a sudden drop in daily physical activity, new access to machines, and vastly different living conditions. These rapid lifestyle shifts create a mismatch between evolved human biology and modern environment, contributing to rising rates of chronic diseases like obesity, diabetes, and heart disease in developing countries. He stresses the importance of studying these transitions to inform public health strategies that can mitigate the risks by encouraging maintenance of beneficial movement habits even in urban settings. Simple interventions, like encouraging periodic standing or walking breaks, promoting active sitting, or wearable reminders to break up prolonged sitting, might dramatically reduce disease susceptibility worldwide. Lieberman addresses the widespread recommendation to walk 10,000 steps daily, revealing its origins as a marketing invention in Japan before the 1964 Olympics, rather than a scientifically rigorous prescription. Despite this, he admits that 10,000 steps is a reasonable general target to get people moving more. However, he emphasizes that health benefits increase gradually as daily steps rise from 0 upwards, with no strict upper limit firmly established. Research shows that 7,000 steps per day is often sufficient to gain most benefits related to all-cause mortality, and higher numbers of steps continue to reduce risks of heart disease and diabetes. Importantly, there is wide individual variability, and walking targets should be personalized rather than a one-size-fits-all prescription. Muscle strength emerges as a critical determinant of healthy aging in Lieberman's discussion. He explains that as people age, they tend to lose muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia, which contributes to frailty, reduced mobility, and increased vulnerability to chronic disease. Unlike many tissues, muscle is metabolically costly, which explains why evolution favors use it or lose it dynamics. Humans maintain muscle mass when physically active and lose it when sedentary. Lieberman notes that older adults in hunter-gatherer populations stay surprisingly active, maintaining better muscle strength and function relative to modern elderly populations, contributing to their longer health span, the years lived without disability or chronic disease. Thus, maintaining muscle strength through moderate strength training or daily functional activities is key to extending quality of life, not just lifespan. While Lieberman recognizes the importance of strength training for muscle health, he cautions against exclusively focusing on resistance exercise at the expense of aerobic activity. His research on cardiovascular health shows that cardio exercise optimizes the heart's ability to pump blood volume effectively, while strength training imposes a different kind of load, vascular resistance. A famous study of Finnish athletes demonstrated that weightlifters who neglected cardio had health outcomes as poor or worse than sedentary individuals, highlighting that balanced physical activity, including both cardiovascular and strength components, is necessary for optimal health. He advocates for varied, mixed exercise routines like rowing for cross-training benefits. Lieberman stresses that humans evolved to be physically active not for pleasure or fitness per se, but because survival demanded it. Hunting, gathering, and foraging required daily movement. The modern concept of exercise as voluntary, discretionary activity done for health is a novel cultural invention absent in human evolutionary history. He shares a profound insight from conversations with hunter-gatherer elders who questioned the logic of running for fun. Our instincts prioritize energy conservation. Activity is undertaken only when necessary or rewarding. This evolutionary mismatch partly explains why so many modern individuals struggle to make regular exercise a habit amid a world designed to minimize physical effort. A particularly important subject Lieberman covers is cancer, framed as a mismatched disease of high energy. He elucidates how physical inactivity and excess energy availability in modern societies promote hormonal imbalances, such as elevated insulin, estrogen, and other growth factors, that turn on cellular pathways favoring tumor growth. Physical activity, conversely, acts as an off switch, lowering hormone levels, boosting immune surveillance by natural killer cells, and supporting cellular repair mechanisms. He draws attention to powerful epidemiological findings showing that moderate physical activity can reduce lifetime breast cancer risk by 30 to 50% and colon cancer risk by 60%. The insight is that inactivity doesn't just fail to protect, but actively increases vulnerability by creating a biological environment favorable to cancer development. Continuing on muscle health, Lieberman clarifies that muscle is an energy-intensive tissue maintained through consistent use. While muscle mass beyond a certain point involves trade-offs and caloric costs, maintaining sufficient and varied muscle fibers is crucial for functional independence, resilience against chronic disease, and overall longevity. He also discusses how physical activity fine-tunes neuromuscular coordination, allowing greater recruitment of muscle fibers and promoting both endurance and power capabilities. This nuanced view underscores that longevity depends not just on moving, but on how the body is engaged during movement. Lieberman underscores the psychological and cultural dimensions of movement, emphasizing the evolutionary importance of making physical activity both necessary and fun. Social engagement, play, dancing, and communal sports historically have provided the rewarding context for movement, promoting sustainability. In this light, initiatives such as parkrun or local running clubs foster camaraderie and accountability that increase exercise adherence. Lieberman stresses the importance of individualized approaches, permitting varied types and intensities of movement to accommodate diverse preferences, physical abilities, and lifestyles. To overcome natural instincts to conserve energy, Lieberman highlights the potential of behavioral economics tools, such as commitment contracts, that create social or financial incentives to promote adherence to physical activity. He shares examples like Stick.com, where users place bets on their activity goals, with money at risk if they fail to meet targets, illustrating how external commitment mechanisms can help override inertia. He also illustrates the power of simple social commitments, like having a running buddy who holds you accountable. This pragmatic approach aligns with human psychology and evolutionary biology by leveraging motivation through social pressure and reward. In a detailed discussion about footwear, Lieberman critically examines how modern cushioned shoes, while providing comfort and protection, cause foot muscles to weaken because the shoe structure compensates for muscular function. Compared to barefoot populations who develop strong foot muscles and natural arches, habitual shoe wearers have higher prevalence of flat feet and weaker foot musculature. He emphasizes that foot strength is essential to prevent common problems like plantar fasciitis, a painful condition arising when foot muscles weaken and connective tissues are overloaded. The evolution of foot anatomy, including the arch and fascia, works best when foot muscles are actively engaged. Lieberman advocates gradual transition to minimalist or barefoot-style shoes to restore natural foot function, improve sensory input, and reduce injury risk.